This week on Phone a Friend, a complete timeline of the supposed Bennifer breakup and my complete meltdown over it. The best and worst of celebrity commencement speeches. P Diddy. That's it. That's the teaser. And iPhone podcasters and Bravo stans Brooke, Siffrin, and Aricia Skidmore-Williams to explain an entire season of Vanderpump Rules in under 20 minutes.
Where the do you all get off? He was in a relationship when he hooked up with Ariana. Like, Come on.
I'm so Vanderpumped for this episode, so let's do this.
Girl, let's phone a friend with Jessi. Crookshank.
Hello. Welcome to Phone a Friend. I'm Jessi Crookshank. Jason, my producer, is off this week, so it's just you and me, phonies. Until I phone a couple of friends to explain an entire season of Vanderpump Rules to me. Okay, if you, like me, watched the season 11 premiere and then fell off entirely, but now we're at the 3-part reunion and you want to know what you missed without dedicating 18 hours of your life to it, Brooke and Aricia, they are best friends. They host the award-winning podcast, Even the Rich. They are Bravo stans. Bravo stans. Bravo is a very Canadian pronunciation, a very like Vancouver pronunciation. Bravo, pasta, Bravo. They're Bravo stans. They're going to break it all down for those of us who are too dumb and busy to keep up. So that's happening later in the show. But for now, I'm all alone here. I need you to hold me tightly, phonies, because we are going to need strength, resilience, unity. We're going to need each other to get through this episode, specifically the rumored Bennifer breakup that I will discuss momentarily. I am reeling. But first, an important update about my stupidity.
An important update about Jessi's stupidity.
Oh, sorry, Rob, my technical producer. Don't think we needed that, but thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thanks. So a few months ago, I told you that I thought it would be a good idea to give our beautiful historic Spanish home here in Los Angeles a She's All That makeover by removing the awnings. Okay, just as Rachel Lee Cook removed her glasses, I thought if I remove the awnings off the top of the windows of my beautiful historic Spanish home, she will look stunning. And she did. She wasn't hiding anymore. You could finally see her windows, and windows are the windows to the soul, and she was gorgeous. Are you with me? Are you following the metaphor? Okay, my house looked incredible without awnings. It was ready to walk down a staircase to sixpence, none the richer. You know what I mean? Kiss me beneath the milky twilight. Sorry, is that the lyric to the song Beneath the Milky Twilight? That's what I'm going to call my chest after breastfeeding Romy for almost 3 years. My milky twilight. All I'm saying is my house was finally getting attention from Freddie Prinze Jr., metaphorically speaking, until it rained in Los Angeles and I discovered that the awnings I removed actually served a purpose. The purpose was to stop rain from coming into the house. Without them, our house literally cartoon shoots water onto our heads every time it rains. And if you recall, I described the vivid scene of Evan and I one night trying to plug a hole in our house with our toddler's Play-Doh in the middle of the night. Well, finally, this week, we were able to get a contractor in to fix the damage with, something a little more resilient than Play-Doh. And it turns out, you ready for this, phonies? My casual She's All That style makeover is going to cost us over $100,000 in repairs. Because I removed the awnings, my home needs to be completely overhauled. So now I am sitting, I'm going to describe the scene for you. I'm recording this sitting in a full-on construction zone, okay? Every wall in the house has been ripped open. Roofs are open. Every one of my possessions is covered in plastic. I literally, can you hear this? This is 3 feet away from my little studio. I had to zip myself in here because it's all been wrapped up in plastic. I'm sitting in a construction zone. And the worst part is that this is the least sexy type of construction. Because I realize there are 2 types of renovations in 2024 that you can undergo. There's the sexy Instagram influencer renovation, which is, hey guys, we're just doing some renos on the house. I just wanted to give the living room a little refresh. By moving the staircase 3 feet to the left, we really opened up the space. And then we inverted the fireplace so the fire burns down and casts a more flattering light. And finally, we removed all the walls in the entire home for just a more open concept feel. Anyway, just a spring refresh. Half of my feed is just design influencers showing me their casual $500,000 spring refresh. Meanwhile, my current renovation is the opposite of an Instagram renovation. It's hey guys, just removing some mold from our walls and ceilings. But when we're finished this 4-month, 6-figure project, our house will look exactly the same. This is the worst kind of renovation. This is the least sexy way to spend money on mold. Okay? Contacting my bank to approve a payment for mold removal made me feel like I've reached the pinnacle of adulting, and I never want to adult this hard again in my life. Remember before kids, before real adulting, when you would spend money on shoes and sunglasses and takeout? Now I'm spending my hard-earned money on mold removal and summer camp. Life comes at you quick, is what I'm saying. Okay? And that's why this podcast is my savior each and every week. With every episode, I get to escape from my real-life adult problems and talk about other people's real-life adult problems. And I would not have it any other way. And I assume that is why you listen and join me every week to escape your own adult life problems. So let's dive right in together, phonies. It's been a week.
It's been a week, yeah.
I'd like to begin by just saying this. I don't want this to be a hot divorce summer.
Hot divorce summer.
No, I said I don't want this to be a hot divorce summer, okay? But all week long, rumors are swirling that Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lynn Affleck are headed for divorce. Okay, headlines love to show pictures of them and write, Splitsville. How can this be? Just months after J-Lo put out a documentary with Ben celebrating their love that I watched and told you all to watch, called The Greatest Love Story Never Told. How can it be that the greatest love story has apparently been told? It's told, it's been told, and it's done being told. No! This documentary came out 2 months ago, okay? I played you clips on this show. I played you this clip in which J-Lo declares that Ben is the love of her life, okay? She says he always had been, even when they were married to other people and having children with other people. She says she never fell out of love with him. Let's just do a little refresher. Remember this?
We're totally different people now, and we're the same, and we have the same love. 100%. I'd never fallen out of love with you. I had just put it over here.
And now we're just putting it back over here? No! What is going on? The timeline of this apparent split, divorce, separation, for me, doesn't add up. It's all happened way too quickly. And in case you're as confused as I am about how fast this relationship has seemingly unraveled like it's 2004 all over again, let me break down the past 2 months. And let's set it to Jenny from the block. Here we go. February 27th, The Greatest Love Story Never Told is released. For an hour and a half, Ben and Jen declare their undying love for each other. The film tanks. I may have been the only one who watched it, but that's beside the point. March 30th. Ben and Jen are photographed house hunting in New York City, looking at apartments for Jen to live in while she films a movie there. May 6th, this is just 2 weeks ago, J-Lo walks the Met Gala red carpet alone, which is odd because they were just seen house hunting together. She's a chair of the event, and Ben typically joins her at big red carpets. Plus, he was out the night before, casually bombing at Tom Brady's roast. May 14th, J-Lo is seen house hunting for Beverly Hills mansions, which is weird because she just bought a $60 million mansion to live in with Ben Affleck. May 15th, a source exclusively tells In Touch, which is a really reliable sentence, that Ben has moved out of their $60 million Beverly Hills mansion and is living in a rental house in Brentwood. May 16th, the next day, Jennifer Garner visits Ben Affleck at his rental house, and we know she only deals with this man when there is an intervention to be had. That same day, it's reported that the couple has been seeking therapy. We hope it's not with Fat Joe. Also on the same day, J-Lo likes an Instagram post about getting out of unhealthy relationships. And just when we all think this 20-year love story has come crashing down with one Instagram like, on May 17th and 19th, they're photographed together at family functions like nothing is wrong. But on May 20th, J-Lo walks the red carpet at her movie premiere alone, wearing only a wedding band. Where's the diamond? Throughout this timeline, it should be noted that wedding rings have come off and on. Bands are worn, diamonds are not. I am fooled by all of the rocks that you got, Jenny. What is going on? Instead of trusting In Touch's undisclosed source, I'd like to give my theory. I think these two are very hot-headed individuals, okay? This is something I am basing purely off of paparazzi photos of Ben Affleck, who always seems to be like holding a Dunkin' in one hand and then like flailing his hand at the other, okay? He's always like seemingly yelling at Jennifer Garner or like passionately talking to J-Lo or, you know, like flipping off the paparazzi. This is a man who seems to be fiery and passionate. And we know she is, you know, she's told us as much. And so I think sometime in the 7 days between March 30th and May 6th, look at me all, Inspector Gadget, they had a huge fiery fight. In that week, they had the kind of fight we've probably all had with our partners at some point or another, like the big fight, okay? But when normal married couples have a fight like that, the man sleeps on the couch. If it's real bad, maybe he like goes off and crashes with a buddy for the night. When billionaires have a fight like that, the man rents a $100,000 a month house in Brentwood. Okay, this is the wealthy man's Scandinavian sleep method. This is not a separate duvet situation. These are separate mansions. I think that's just what rich people do when they fight. And then, of course, news gets out that they're living in separate mansions, and suddenly it's being reported that they're headed for divorce. And now J-Lo, who famously loves to control the media narrative around her, is like, all right, got to put on my platforms and my flared jeans and cashmere throws and call the paparazzi to photograph herself with Ben at various family gatherings while they presumably try to work it out. Like, they were photographed outside of his kids' play, which we assume Jennifer Garner was also at, but notably, she was not seen, not photographed. She took a different exit. Those two, in full hair and makeup, walked past the paparazzi together whilst exiting the middle school. Okay? They're trying to take back the story so that they have time to figure things out. Am I optimistic that they're going to figure it out? No. Which is devastating. Because I just feel like this couple made us believe in love again. You know, they gave us hope that it's never too late to find your person, to reconnect with an old flame. They showed us a shining example of a blended family. You know, their kids seem to get along. The Jennifers seem to get along. They were two individuals who had faced heartbreak and hardship time and time again, but then rose from the ashes like the phoenix tattoo on Ben Affleck's back and found each other again. And even if I didn't trust the home sense ass looking like quote signs at their wedding or the choice to spend $20 million on a documentary about their love story, I still wanted them to work. I still do. It still isn't over. And as a footnote, okay, amidst the slow ticket sales for her tour, the bad ratings for her films, and now the divorce rumors, last week, this audio leaked of J-Lo's actual singing voice in a recording studio. I don't know who leaked it, but instead of giving my final thoughts on this potential hot divorce summer, I'll let J-Lo sum up the relationship drama with this ditty.
I'd always dream. No! Whoa, I'm sorry everybody. That hurt me too. I'd always dream that fine. Sorry. That sounded so fucking crazy. I'd always dream that fine. Okay, play it again. I'd always dream that find the perfect lover. But he turned out to be like every other man I've loved, raining.
I'm sorry. The way you know she thinks she sounds like Billie Holiday. I left. J-Lo, I hope Ben Affleck didn't turn out to be like every other man you've loved. Because I only want the best for you, Jennifer Lopez Affleck. So, Bennifer, from the bottom of my CGI mechanical heart, you'd get that joke if you had watched her film, but you didn't. I wish you well.
I wish you well. Oh, I wish you well, baby. Yeah. I'm wishing you well, baby. I'm wishing you well.
Heartbreaking. If they break up, I don't know, we might have to have some kind of an emergency episode. I don't know that I'm going to be okay. Now, as the sole producer of today's episode, I feel that it's my duty to shift the mood, okay? To lift your spirits, phonies, with uplifting, life-changing words of wisdom from celebrities at graduation ceremonies. So this past week, commencement addresses were given across the country to fourth-year college students, who, by the way, may I just say this, look like children to me now, okay? I swear to God, if I were to pass a college-aged person on the street, I'd think they were in Rio and Dre's kindergarten class. I cannot tell how old anyone is. It is alarming to me how young these people culminating from university look. I don't want to think about how old I look to them, but my God, do they look young to me. Okay, I digress. Athletes, comedians, actors made headlines all week by making inspirational and also whatever the opposite of inspirational is, speeches to students. And because I think we're never too old to learn and to grow, I'd like to share some of the highlights of these speeches with you. So put on your caps and gowns and get ready to accept your diploma from me at Phone a Friend's first annual college graduation ceremony. Or as we call it in Canada, university graduation ceremony. Our first commencement address comes from Jennifer Coolidge's speech at the University of Washington, which for some reason is in St. Louis. I don't understand you, America, but I do love Jennifer Coolidge. Listen to this.
Be true to yourself. You know, I stand before you as a weird person, Get to know yourself, accept who you are, and love that person, because this is the moment. You already are everything you need to be.
I stand before you as a weird person. I am on my feet for Jennifer Coolidge. Yes, you do. And you know what? She has succeeded because she leaned into being a weird person. And I relate to that. I think I have, too, in my own way. Like I've always said that the secret to success, to my success certainly, is I've always sort of known who I am and I never tried to be anything different. I mean, for a hot minute, I definitely tried to be cooler than I was at MTV. And then I realized there were people who were also on that network who were hired to be cool. I was not one of them. So I leaned into who I am. And I think that the moment you understand who you are and you be that no matter what, that's when you're going to have the most success in life. I love that. Okay, over at Duke, Jerry Seinfeld gave the commencement address, and there were all kinds of headlines about students staging a protest. Here's what happened. 15 to 30 students out of thousands walked out when he got up on stage because of his support for Israel. And that is, of course, their prerogative. They did miss what I thought was a great speech, full of unique perspectives I had not heard before about a lot of different things. Here he is talking about work.
About work, you know how they always say nobody ever looks back on their life and wishes they spent more time at the office? Well, why? Why don't they? Guess what? Depends on the job. If you took a stupid job that you find out you hate and you don't leave, that's your fault. Don't blame work. Work is wonderful. I definitely will not be looking back on my life wishing I worked less. If that's not how you feel at work, quit. On your lunch break, disappear. Make people go, what happened to that guy? I don't know. He said he was getting something to eat, never came back.
This is obviously a wealthy white man's perspective, right? Easier said than done to just quit your job and find something you love. But I did appreciate the sentiment here, which is sort of dismissing this pervasive attitude that, we're all working 9 to 5, right? Everybody's working for the weekend. Nobody likes their job. They're just doing it to get through it. But I agree with him. Why? Why not try to, whatever degree is possible and financially viable, obviously, to do something that you love, or at least to work somewhere that makes you happy. And if you find yourself in a situation at work that is making you miserable, life is too short to not try and change it. And I'm saying that, and I played you that clip because I know somebody out there listening needed to hear that. Jerry also pushed back against the sort of woke, humorless Gen Zers, many of whom had ironically walked out on him when he said this.
And this is probably the biggest point I would like to make to you here today regarding humor. I'm going to try and reach across a couple generations here to tell you the most important thing I am confident that I know about life. I'm 70. I'm done. You are just starting. I only want to help you. The slightly uncomfortable feeling of awkward humor is okay. It's not something you need to fix. I totally admire the ambitions of your generation to create a more just and inclusive society. I think it is also wonderful that you care so much about not hurting other people's feelings in the 1,000,001 ways we all do that every second of every day. It's lovely to want to fix those things, but, all caps, but, what I need to tell you as a comedian, do not lose your sense of humor. You can have no idea at this point in your life how much you are going to need it to get through. Not enough of life makes sense for you to be able to survive it without humor. Humor is the most powerful, most survival, essential quality you will ever have or need to navigate through the human experience.
I feel like getting up on my feet and applauding that, even though it is a sentiment that came from a somewhat problematic Jerry Seinfeld. But for me, as someone who has a comedy special coming out in 1 week, Minivan Money streams on Veeps or Veeps.com in Canada, May 30th, I needed to hear that. I really needed to hear somebody place a little importance on the idea of humor. For Mother's Day the other week, this is just anecdote, my kids filled out one of those all about my mom forms, and it was classic. It was my mom likes to drink wine. My mom is 75 years old, just like unintentionally dragging me to hell. But under my mom's job is, which is very confusing. I don't even know what my job is. But Dre wrote, making people laugh. And at first I was like, oh my God, that's so embarrassing. Like there are other moms in the class that are doctors and lawyers and have real jobs that can be listed in one line on a form. And now his teacher is like, your mom is a clown? Like, what is this? But after hearing the commencement address, I feel a little bit better about it. You know, he's right. Making people laugh is essentially my job. Across all of the things I do, you could really distill it down to that. And, you know, humor is not just an important part of the human experience. I think humor is the thing that connects people the most. I truly believe the only reason that you and I are connecting right now, phonies, is that we share a sense of humor. It's the thing that binds people together. It's why when I meet phonies, when I meet like people who come out to my shows or people who stop me on the street, whatever, I know I would be friends with each and every one of you because we share the same sense of humor. The minute I meet someone who I think could potentially be a mom friend, like in the wild, playground, elementary school, whatever, I'll always throw out a joke to see how it goes down. And if it bombs, I instantly know that person is not going to be my friend. Humor is the greatest connector. Wait, can I also just go off track and tell you this? At the boys' school, they had this Unity Fair last week, which is this really beautiful celebration. Every family who comes from a different culture sets up a little booth so you learn about their culture or the country that they're from. There was no Canada, which is some bullshit because half of Los Angeles is Canadian. And when I went up to the principal and said, hey, man, there's no Canada here, he's like, yeah, maybe you should have volunteered to do it. I was like, oh, shit. Yeah, it's a parent volunteer event. I barely made it there just to show up. So next year I'll be running and setting up the Canada booth, just be advised. But at one of the booths, it was the China booth. And there was this mom who I've always like thought was cool and kind of want to be friends with her. And she was writing all of the kids' names in Chinese characters. And because I have no filter for when to say a joke or not, after she had written Rio in beautiful Chinese characters, she handed it over to him. And I said, wow, if this was the 2000s, he would get that tattooed on his lower back. And she looked at me stone-faced and said, excuse me? And I was like, nothing. Thank you so much. This is beautiful. Thank you so much. Thanks. And instantly realized that we would never be friends. Because humor is the thing that binds people together. So thank you, Jerry Seinfeld, for that important reminder. You are a problematic billionaire with a fresh perspective. Speaking of problematic, graduates, this brings us to our final commencement address of the 2024 culmination season. And it comes from Harrison Butker, the kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, a man who does no speaking and only kicking was given a platform to speak at a Catholic university last week. And he said this.
I think it is you, the women, who have had the most diabolical lies told to you. How many of you are sitting here now about to cross this stage and are thinking about all the promotions and titles you are going to get in your career? Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world. I can tell you that my beautiful wife, Isabel, would be the first to say that her life truly started when she began living her vocation as a wife and as a mother. I'm on this stage today and able to be the man I am because I have a wife who leans into her vocation. One of the most important titles of all, homemaker.
Well, I'll tell you one thing about being a homemaker. It sure does require more skill, talent, and intelligence than being a kicker, than coming out once or maybe twice a game to kick a ball. The most confusing part is this football player plays the one position that doesn't get him tackled every week, and yet he still said this without a head injury. He stood up in front of a room filled with young, hopeful women who have just completed a 4-year education, who have bright futures and big dreams. He stood up there and told them that they've been lied to and they actually can't have it all. Instead, they have to serve their men and honor their chosen vocation, homemaker. I don't even think I've heard the word homemaker spoken since watching a 1950s movie starring Julianne Moore. What? Who let this person on the stage? Who allowed him to stand behind a microphone? Who approved this speech? It's especially odd because his mother is a world-renowned physicist. Okay, his mother has many degrees and works full-time as a physicist, and yet he believes that women probably just want to have babies and be moms. Okay, I have 3 babies, bitch, and I still don't aspire to be a homemaker. No shade to the women who stay at home. That is a hugely important job, but taking young women and telling them that that is what they clearly should aspire to be because their dreams are never going to come true is truly fucked up. And don't worry, he doesn't just have hateful things to say about women. He also goes on to make anti-LGBTQ, anti-abortion, and anti-IVS statements in this speech. So, ladies, if you're thinking about undergoing IVF, just make sure you get the opinion of a male kicker from a Kansas football team first. I'm sure you want to hear what he has to say. And by the way, everybody wants Travis Kelce to weigh in. He has not yet, but that's probably because he's busy over in Europe with Tay-Tay on a boat or hosting the Kelce Fest, which I don't know if you saw pictures of this, is some kind of music festival that he throws. Looked like a good time. Okay, Travis Kelce screaming at a crowd in a bucket hat. I secretly wish I was there. His brother, Jason Kelce, did weigh in. He commented on the video on Instagram and said, this is not something I ever want my children to see or a sentiment that should be put out in the world, something like that. So at least one of the Kelces spoke out against this man. And with that sage advice from a man whose name is Butker, this concludes Phone a Friend's first annual college graduation ceremony. Congratulations, graduates. I'm not sure if that left you smarter or dumber than when we began. What's next?
What's next?
All right, we're just going to keep the misogynist asshole party going for a hot minute because I feel like I have to quickly address the disturbing video of P Diddy physically abusing his ex-partner Cassie Ventura in a Los Angeles hotel in 2016. I'm sure you've seen the video. I'm not going to describe it. It is absolutely harrowing to watch. Allegedly, Diddy paid the hotel $50,000 for that security footage at the time, so it would not get out. But then, all these years later, his downfall started to happen, right? Cassie accused him of abuse a few months ago, and then 5 more heinous lawsuits were filed against him. Then a federal criminal sex trafficking investigation led to raids on his mansions. And then, possibly the worst punishment for Diddy, Kesha changed her TikTok lyrics to wake up in the morning like fuck P. Diddy. And when that happened, finally, this security footage saw the light. Whoever was, by the way, criminally hanging on to this footage, okay, this footage should have been released in 2016. Why did so many people fail this woman? But finally, the footage was leaked. It somehow got leaked to CNN, by the way, not like a TMZ or a Daily Mail where footage is usually leaked. I feel like it was very intentionally leaked to a news outlet because this is not a tabloid gossip story. It is a heinous crime recorded on camera. Now, I'll just remind you, originally, a couple months ago, Diddy denied all the accusations. He said, quote, "I did not do any of the awful things being alleged." He also called Cassie a liar and said only time will tell the truth. So will surveillance videos. But instead of just disappearing forever after this video came out, he posted his own ill-advised apology video to Instagram saying this.
I mean, I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video.
I didn't even want to play that, but I feel it's important to hear because, first of all, I love it when a man makes an apology to other people all about himself. Second, you're not sorry for what you did. You're sorry we saw what you did. Listen, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Dids, you can take full responsibility for your actions, quote unquote, when you make a mistake, when you make a misstep, when you tweet something insensitive, get a DUI, pee in a mop bucket. There are many things you can take responsibility for in an apology video and hope that the public will forgive you. Can't do it for a crime. Physically abusing a woman is not a mistake. It's not like, oops, it's not something you did because you were in a dark place. It's physical abuse. It's not something you can make an apology video for. A lot of people go through hard times and are in dark places and don't physically abuse their partners. Also, it should be noted, he's sitting in some sort of like a tropical straw cabana making this apology video, so he's doing okay for now. Now, unfortunately, P. Diddy cannot be prosecuted for the crimes he committed in that video. The statute of limitations has run out, which I think physical abuse, I think the statutes of limitations should be extended when it's a heinous crime captured on video. As you can see, not a lawyer. My profession is making people laugh, so I'm just throwing ideas out there for the courts. But I think it's bullshit. You know, when you can see somebody has committed a crime, in 2016 is not that long ago, they should be prosecuted for it. Either way, I think the video was probably leaked to ensure he'd get prosecuted on all the other charges he currently has against him, okay? Put that in the world and hope that everything else he is accused of, he will go down for. This man deserves to be in jail. And unlike Bennifer, I'm going to say it right here, there's no coming back for P. Diddy. There's no rebrand. There's no apology video. There's no new name. He's done like Danity Kane in 2009. His career is over. And by the way, shout out to Aubrey O'Day, okay? Former member of Danity Kane, because she has always spoken out about P. Diddy. She might have been the first one to sort of plant the seed. And then I also just want to say, shout out to Cassie. I hope he settled with her for tens of millions of dollars because she deserves every penny for what she has gone through, for what she's currently going through. This video is circulating everywhere on the internet. I can't imagine how traumatic that is for her. And she's the one who spoke out first. She is the survivor who opened the doors for other people to come forward. That's an incredibly brave thing to do. She was in an abusive relationship with this man for more than a decade. Okay, she woke up every morning thinking, fuck P. Diddy. And now, thanks to her, we all do. Wake up in the morning thinking, fuck P. Diddy. And with that, what's next?
What's next?
Okay, I need a little girl power up in here. This week, Vanderpump Rules aired part 2 of its 3-part explosive reunion, and I have shamefully seen none of it. And because I need something to talk to my gay friends about, I thought this was the perfect opportunity to call 2 smart, hilarious women to explain it to me. So let's phone a friend. Friends, in this case.
Girl, let's phone a friend.
I am phoning Brooke, Siffrin, and Aricia Skidmore-Williams, award-winning hosts of the Wondery podcast, Even the Rich, and all of its various spin-offs. They're pop culture experts, and most importantly, they live and breathe Bravo culture and are scholars in Vanderpump Rules.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
A double hello today. Hi, Brooke and Aricia.
Hi.
You are a lot of things. You are podcasters, award-winning podcasters, if I may.
Thank you. You may,
pop
yes.
culture, thank you. Pop culture experts. You are best friends. But today I am calling you as Bravo stans because I desperately need you to explain season 11 of Vanderpump Rules to me.
Okay. All right. You've called the right people.
Great. You know who I called last time to explain Vanderpump Rules to me? The one and only Sheena Shea.
Oh, my God. Well,
you're in great company.
That's tough shoes to fill.
I know. Yeah.
Someone who lived it, you know, it's tough too.
Absolutely. But you're both holding White Claws right now. So I feel that I'm in good hands with you.
Yeah, some would say we're good as gold.
You're good as gold.
Some would, yeah.
You should think about releasing that as a single.
I really should. That's a good idea. Thank you for the confidence.
I'm full of them. Can I just ask you a quick question about your friendship before we dive in? Is it true that you met while parking cars for celebrities at like award shows, events, parties?
They would they would have like parties at their house, and so with their other celebrity friends, they're just like us. Just like our valets. Yeah, we just tell our friends to Uber.
The fleet of valets that I've hired for my daughter's 3rd birthday party coming up in a couple weeks. I mean, they're just
you get it
the whole street. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Did you park any celebrities' cars that I would know? And did any of you look into a glove compartment?
I never looked at any glove compartments, but we did do a lot of celebrities that you would know. I mean, we worked at Jane Fonda's house, and it was for Jennifer Aniston's birthday party.
Of course.
So there were a lot of celebrities there. Yeah. Like Jane Fonda was a delight. She like brought me into her house. She took me down to her basement that was like all redone and it had like a lounge and a bar in it. And she's like, this is my, basement and there's a bathroom down here you guys can use. She was so lovely. And I always tell that story because I was just like, oh my God, Jane Fonda took me to her basement.
I love that Jane Fonda has a basement with a lounge and a bar. That sounds like something Tom Sandoval would have. You know what I mean?
Yeah, way less douchey than Tom Sandoval would have, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I once pumped breast milk in Ben Affleck's bathroom of his guest house when he was living separately from Jennifer Garner. That is the celebrity bathroom story I often tell.
Okay.
And I just had to unpack all of that drama, so I am feeling very emotional. And I'd like to pivot and talk about something less heartbreaking, which is this season of Vanderpump Rules.
Depending on who you ask.
I was going to say, heartbreaking, some people would argue that.
Yeah.
Okay, I have so many questions because you are probably still reeling from, we're recording this on Wednesday. Last night was part 2 of the reunion. 3-part reunion.
Yes.
Special?
Yeah.
Reunion. Directed by Christopher Nolan. I don't know why we have 3 parts for this.
I know.
I'll never understand it.
Neither does Aricia. She's very against it.
No one else understands it. They're drawing it out. Come on.
Okay, before we get to the reunion, let's talk about the season. I watched episode 1 and then I stopped. What did I miss?
I'm so jealous of you.
Rank? You're not. I invested that time into The Golden Bachelor and Love is Blind. So it's not like I discovered a cure for cancer.
I did the same.
Wow. And how would you rank it, Aricia?
It's interesting you asked that. So I gave it a 3.5 and everyone was like, just like that.
That's like what the Jennifer Lopez $20 million musical opus has been ranked. 3.5. That's low.
That is low. It's really low.
You can't top last season. You just can't.
Hard to top.
Yeah.
And
hard
yet,
to top. But
you have Tom Sandoval and Ariana Madix living in the same house for a year after Scandoval happened. So I guess my obvious question is like, what was that interaction like?
Annoying.
There was very little interaction, really. I mean, they were both mainly communicating through Tom's assistant, Anne, who Aricia is actually friends with.
Hey, I heard that Anne, I don't know anything about this Anne, but I've heard a lot that she's like the star of the season.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
Okay.
She's the star of the season for me. She's why I watched, because I was like, I got to see my friend on the show. But she's so sweet. She's
very sweet.
To have to be... And she worked for Tom for years. Like, this is just the first time that she showed up on the show.
So she was Tom's Anne. Let's just dive into Anne. Anne, the least important character in the season. Let's start there.
Yeah.
So wait, Anne was Tom's assistant, and then at some point she switched and became Ariana's assistant. Is this true?
Yeah. Well, and who wouldn't? I would leave Tom for anyone. Tom, just like the little clips that you see. And of course, this is just like, she was his assistant for years. And it's like, he's not somebody I would want to be close to in any capacity.
Let's discuss this. Let's talk about Tom. Because from the headlines I saw, it looked like there was like a real, almost a poor Tom narrative happening at the beginning of the season. At the end of season 10, it was very much a fuck Tom narrative.
Oh, yeah.
So how did we get to poor Tom?
Well, it was only for
himself.
He threatened to kill himself.
He told Lisa Vanderpump that he was feeling suicidal, and Lisa told Lala and Sheena about this. And so they were both like, okay, well, we don't obviously want to be a part in like him feeling that way. So they kind of softened a little bit when they heard that and started having conversations with him.
This is very dark. So he reveals to Lisa that he's feeling suicidal. And I understand that. I think I had to bounce from Vanderpump after season 10 reunion because it was so dark.
It was a lot.
It was so cruel. There was so much vitriol spewed at this man who, yes, made a mistake, but like I truly didn't think that he was worthy of all of that hate. And so,
well, literally everyone else on the show has cheated at some point. And the way that they acted, like it was like the high horses they're all on. The amount of throwing of stones in glass houses was just like, what? Where the fuck do you all get off? I mean, Ariana, he was in a relationship when he hooked up with Ariana. Like, come on.
Right. So let's talk. So there
that.
was a bit of like, we had some sympathy for Tom. Some of the cast members start siding with him. And what's up with Ariana? Because I have made bold statements on this show about her without watching a single episode of the season. I understand she went through a horrific ordeal. We can all relate.
Yeah.
But like, she has been so unrelentingly mean to this man. And at the same time, capitalizing on this scandal, riding it all the way to Broadway. How did you feel about how she handled it all?
I don't think she has to get along with him or film scenes with him. There are times where I'm like, this is getting a little bit crazy, you know, like he didn't kill anybody. Somebody I think even said, I think Lala was like, he didn't kill anybody, you know, like we're all treating like he killed someone.
Right.
So, but I mean, as far as her capitalizing on it, like, good for her. You know, like ride that all the way to the bank if you can, because Vanderpump's not going to be around forever. So,
well, I just think my thing is like, it's like, first of all, it's like, damn, who hasn't been cheated on or knows somebody who's been cheated on? If only we could all capitalize on it. But also, you agreed to go on the show. Like, this is a coworker.
It is her
like,
job,
if you're looking at it as like a work environment, this is your coworker. This is part of the job. Fucking engage. And if you don't want to, then don't go on the show. You have plenty of other opportunities. You're crying about being poor, which is bullshit. Like, I don't believe that for a second.
Ariana is?
No.
There was stuff in the beginning. There was stuff in the beginning where she was like, he's acting like I have all this money and I don't. And it's like, maybe at that point she didn't have money, but it was like clearly things were coming in. She was already getting these sponsorship deals at the very beginning. What was like moving out or whatever that she had.
The Lay's commercials were not volunteer. Opportunities. Yeah.
But it's just like, you didn't have to be on the show. You could have said no and you chose to. And so for you to be on the show and be such a stick in the mud, and it's like, I get it. I'm not saying you have to like hug him and be like, we're good friends, but like you chose to be on the show knowing he's also on the show. And then you behave like this. And it was just like, and I get that it was close, but it was just the producers are creating a narrative. Like the amount of eye rolling Ariana does. Like, what are you, 14? Like, grow up.
So Ariana has moved out of the white farmhouse.
Yes.
Which is like blocks away from where I live. I don't know why I haven't parked my car.
Oh my God, neighbors.
There.
Yeah.
Yes. So Ariana moved out finally, officially.
Yes.
And now Tom Sandoval wants Tom Schwartz to move in with him.
Yeah. Or they're talking about, they talked about on the first part of the reunion that they might get a property together. Maybe not that specific house, but invest in a property together.
And Lisa Vanderpump
them. Yeah, she's like, you guys are in your 30s. Why are you getting houses together? And it's like, Lisa, you're a millionaire. Shut up. Like, you don't know.
But also, we need to normalize friends getting houses together. I think that's a great idea.
Yes,
marriages fall apart way more often than friendships do.
Thank you. And have you seen the prices of homes in Los Angeles lately? I mean,
I literally looked at a house yesterday and I was like, for this much? Get the fuck out of here.
I even think like my husband and I have talked about like getting a big house with like his brother and his brother's girlfriend or like other, like it would be fun. It sounds fun.
Also, P.S. love this for the show. Don't know why Lisa Vanderpump is trashing them for living together. Like, honey, that's going to make an incredible season 12.
That's very true. Yeah.
They'll need
Beyond just living together, this cast does a lot of questionable things. I did some Googling and compiled a few of these things from season 11. I want to know if you think these season 11 scenarios are forgivable or not in a rapid fire game called Vanderpump or Dump.
Ooh,
love it. Great title.
Coming for Andy Cohen's job.
Watch out. If Sheena Shea were here, I would make her sing the jingle for Vanderpump or Vanderdump.
Love it.
She's not. So let's throw to my personal boy band.
Vanderpump or Vanderdump.
Okay. If you could forgive it and let it slide, you'll say Vanderpump. If you can't, it's Vanderdump. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yep.
Your partner backs out of being your date to your best friend's wedding so you can hang out with his dog. Vanderpump or Vanderdump?
Vanderdump.
Vanderdump.
Yeah. Who did that on the show?
James Kennedy wasn't going to go to Allie's best friend's wedding because he was, listen, I understand him being worried about leaving their dog with someone. They just got him back. Yeah. I understand that, but you can find someone you trust to stay with your dog. Like, come on. You've already agreed to go to the wedding.
Yeah,
okay. Love that. You live in LA, but your partner lives across the country in New York City and refuses to move closer to you. Vanderpump or Vanderdump?
Pump.
Vanderdump.
Wait, are you dumping Ariana's boyfriend?
Yeah. You can't, listen, I've been in a long distance relationship. One of you has to move or it's not going to work.
Well, my thing is I would pump because first of all, I love the idea of not living with a partner because I love living by myself.
Yes.
But I'm also like, why pump? Like, I'm not moving there either. Like, it's kind of like, so, and I'm assuming they have a career and stuff and blah, 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 blah. I'm a trainer
now. You
now.
just threw it out casually. I would pump. We've reached a point in this game where I would pump.
Literally, Ariana has more of a career in New York than he does. He's a trainer. He could do that anywhere.
That's true.
I mean, I don't know. I think that's being a little flippant to his, we don't know what the extent of his career is. Maybe he's got a bunch of clients and he doesn't want to do it out here.
People are training on Zoom these days, all right?
I know, and I hate it. I hate training on Zoom, which is why I stopped doing it.
And in
I like
fairness,
in-person
there is
stuff.
Nobody in LA who's going to hire a personal trainer. That just is not exactly.
There's no market
he's got to be in New York.
Nobody's worried about how they look in Los Angeles.
At all. A bunch of trolls.
Partner insists on following your location on their iPhone and then gossips about your whereabouts. Vanderdump or Vanderpump or Vanderdump?
Pump. I'd love it.
Yeah, I guess pump. I wouldn't really care.
There's nothing like, oh, wow, Aricia's at the Wendy's again. Everyone already knows it.
That you would be worried about your partner seeing your location. Okay, gotcha.
No, my husband would literally look over and see that I'm just on the couch still.
Yeah.
You're so right. My instant reaction was like, Vanderdump, invasion of privacy. And then honestly, my husband would just be like, she's at home, at the children's school, or at the hair extension shop. There is nothing threatening that I do. You're right.
Yeah.
Your beefy husband looks better in skimpy swimwear than you do. Vanderdump or Vanderpump?
Vanderpump.
I hope he does. Yeah.
Yeah, pump.
Pump that shit up.
See, I'm deeply threatened by an in-shape man. I always want my man to be a little bit soft so I feel better about myself.
I agree with you. I'm not super into buff, ripped guys. It doesn't do it for me, you know?
No offense to Ariana's New York boyfriend or,
Right. Yeah. I'm sure he's great.
Yeah. Finally, your partner is on a reality show called Vanderpump Rules, which means all of your dirty laundry is going to be aired out on TV for people on podcasts to judge. Vanderpump or Vanderdump?
Pump.
Vanderpump.
Ip the shit out of it.
Sign me up. I need another paycheck.
Yeah.
I'll join it.
That is how you play. Vanderpump or Vanderdump?
Vanderpump or Vanderdump?
Ladies, give Lisa Vanderpump 3 months to steal my game and turn it into a spinoff with its own
It won't take that long.
Okay, please.
His own restaurant. Yeah.
Okay, next week is the final part 3 reunion. What are you hoping goes down?
Well, I hope they announce that the show's done.
Oh my God!
I hope Tom and Ariana make up and
about it.
Fuck right on the camera.
What if they get back together? He proposes and she says, yes! Oh!
I mean, they've been teasing this conversation where they're both crying and he's like, Ariana, you know me. You know I wouldn't lie. And she's like, I just want you away from me. So I'm excited to see that play out.
It's ending in tears.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, for sure.
Before I let you go, we would be remiss not to acknowledge that after what feels like years, Ariana and Katie's sandwich shop, Something About Her, is finally opening today.
It's opening today?
As we record this, Aricia, love that I just informed you about this. I don't know why I've not watched a single frame of this season, but I feel desperate to go get a sandwich from Something About Her. Should we just all meet up after this and meet for lunch?
Do you have $50?
Is that how much a sandwich costs?
She keeps saying that with no information.
First of all, it's LA. First of all, everything is so expensive and they have their name. I'll bet you a sandwich. Well, I bet the cheapest one will be like $25.
I guarantee you it will. I took my children to a Subway sandwich shop. And those sandwich artists had the audacity to charge me $39 for a 6-inch and 2 kids' meals. $39 as I live and breathe. So, yes, I believe they should be charging $50 a sandwich at Something
Was the 6-inch a combo or was it just the sandwich?
It was just the sandwich.
That's crazy.
I can't afford a combo in this economy.
Illegal.
Yes. Okay.
My God.
Aricia, Brooke, I think we're on to something. And that's why I want to officially propose that you be my Bravoverse correspondent on this show.
Oh, my God. I would love it. Let's do it.
That was the appropriate reaction and reverence for the position.
Such an honor. It's such an honor.
Legal correspondence, political correspondence, but nothing's more
important.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Than my Bravoverse correspondent. Yeah. So congratulations to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you
so much.
You're so welcome. Make sure you listen and subscribe to Brooke and Aricia's weekly podcast, Even the Rich. And also now you have Even the Royals. You're basically Lisa Vanderpump, spin-offs galore. They also have their daily pop culture show, Rich and Daily. I listen to them all. You guys are so great. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Jessi, thank you. Yeah.
Call back
anytime. Good to talk to you.
Now, normally we would just hang up cordially and say, like, bye. But I think we should channel the energy of a Vanderpump Rules reunion show.
Oh, okay. I'm already there.
Instead, we'll each take a turn to say goodbye. I'll begin by saying,
okay.
Bye, you disgusting excuses for human beings.
I'm going to take it a different way, and I'm going to say, I've always loved you, and I will never stop loving you. But goodbye for now.
And I'm going to say, listen, you all are a bunch of fuckers, and I am sick of having to keep these groups together. Goodbye.
Okay.
By the way, fingers were wagging. And with that, we say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thanks, ladies. Brooke and Aricia, my official Bravo correspondents. My Bravo-spondents, if you will. What a roster I am building here on Phone a Friend. That was so much fun. Thank you so much, ladies. I feel like I can live my life now, knowing sort of, kind of, ish, what happened this season on Vanderpump Rules. After the break, another set of girlfriends leave me a voicemail. Intoxicated? My first drunk dial is next.
Commercial break.
We're back, and I might not have Jason, my producer, to talk to, but I have you. Let's check my voicemail.
Check your voicemail.
Hey, beautiful day. Hey, beautiful day. Hi, Jessi. It's Colleen and Sarah. Calling from the Niagara region, but we're from Guelph, Ontario. And we're on our first girls' trip in 35 years. Yeah, and we left our precious babies at home. Yes. And we're here calling you. And we love your podcast. We think it's amazing. Hilarious. Thank you. And we're very dumb and busy, so it's perfect. Yes, we need to be informed, so thank you for all that you do. We're wondering how you ask the tough questions without making it feel awkward or confrontational. Mm-hmm. We think you're a great interviewer. And we just, as recovering people pleasers, want to know how to lean into those tricky conversations and not shy away from the hard things to ask. Yes. So any tips are appreciated. We love you. We think you're great. Bye. Bye.
Oh, my God. I love you. Colleen and Sarah on a girls' trip for the first time. Did they say in 35 years? What? And I know they're up in the Niagara region, and I'm going to assume some wine tastings were had before placing this phone call. Okay, some rosé may have been consumed. And by the way, love a tipsy voicemail. I welcome a drunk dial, please. I'd like to go on that girls' trip with you, if I'm being honest. Like, you sound fun. I really feel like, I've said this before, women should not be shamed for leaving their kids to spend time together. They should be congratulated. You did it, Colleen and Sarah. Is there any higher honor than an air horn sound effect from me? Truly, that is proof that you have your life together enough to take time away from your kids to reconnect with yourselves and your friends, and that should be celebrated. When I give my own commencement address at Fanshawe College, or whoever the hell lets me give a commencement speech, I'm going to say that. That's my hot tip. Prioritize career, homemaking, of course, but also friendship. And it sounds like you guys are doing just that. Thank you so much for the kind words. I love that you described yourselves as retired people pleasers. I am very much currently a people pleaser. I wish I could retire, but I can't shake it. I always want to be liked. I want to leave a good impression. And I still do want to ask, I don't even know if it's hard questions as much as just like creative, interesting questions that I care about. I never in my entire career ever want to ask a celebrity about the movie they're promoting. Like, leave that to the 150 other journalists who are going to ask them the same question. I always want to ask something different and unique and like something that will reveal the human side of them. So from a celebrity interview perspective, I will tell you, I had a realization on a Golden Globes red carpet one time about how I get away with asking celebrities silly or like, yes, awkward questions. And this is what it is. This is what I realized. It's because I always lead with humor. Always. It's just like in my tone. It's truly how I conduct every conversation in life or every celebrity interview in my work. And I think when you establish a rapport with someone, even if you only have 30 seconds to do that on like a Golden Globes red carpet, you have to set the tone for playfulness and humor. And that's just something that I always do naturally, as I discussed the comment I made about a lower back tattoo to a woman at the China booth at my son's Unity Fair. Like, I don't know how to be otherwise than just making jokes out loud when they pop into my head. But here's the thing. One time, I was co-hosting with Ben Mulrooney, who I love, who is a friend, who is great at what he does in the style that he does it. He is a great entertainment reporter. I had written funny, playful questions for that red carpet, and he had his own more straightforward questions. And it was working. It was a nice balance between us. But at one point during that Golden Globes red carpet, he decided to ask a star one of my questions. I wish I remember what it was specifically. I think it was something about like Spanx or wearing like a controlled top garment, something that I had couched in like a silly, playful way. And when he asked it, the person literally was like, "Excuse me? What did you just say?" Like startled by the question. And I realized in that moment, like, oh, I had gotten away with asking the question to many people on the red carpet before he asked it. But when he asked it, people were like, "That's a weird thing to say." And it's simply because he was asking a funny question without setting the tone for funniness. Does that make sense? As Jerry Seinfeld once said 7 days ago, humor is the most fundamental part of the human experience. I'm telling you, that's how I move through the world. And, you know, clearly you do too up there partying in the Niagara region, because you started your voicemail by singing a Bedouin Sound Clash song. Ladies, I don't know how to thank you enough for that. It's, of course, a subtle but hilarious shout out to Jay Malinowski, who sings the boy band jingles and theme song for this show and who sings that song too. He's the lead singer of Bedouin Sound Clash. So you know what? I was going to play a J-Lo song in hopes that, you know, Bennifer would reconcile because she would feel better about herself knowing that I had played her song at the very end of an episode of Phone a Friend. Instead, I'd like to roll the 2004 chart-topping hit When the Night Feels My Song by Bedouin Sound Clash.
I'm on the rocky road, heading down off the mountain.
As I say thank you, Colleen and Sarah, for that amazing message. Please take me on your next girls trip. Thank you to Brooke and Aricia for enlightening us all. Thank you to Jay Malinowski for not just writing hits on this podcast or the hit that you're hearing right now, but for writing original music for my stand-up special, Minivan Money. It drops May 30th on Veeps. Veeps.com in Canada is where you can stream it. Use my code Sienna, as in Toyota Sienna, to get 30% off. And you can stream it, I think, for like less than $10. And I really hope you do. I am so proud of it. It's so much fun. If you came to a live show, it will be so fun for you to watch it and see the special. If you didn't, you can pretend you did with the special. I'll be doing a live watch party on the 30th. The night it comes out at 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern. I would love to have you watching along with me. I'll post all the info you need about that on my social channels. In the meantime, have an amazing week, phonies. Thank you so much for listening. We'll talk next Thursday. Okay, bye. Sing it, Jay.
Hey, 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 beautiful day. Hey, hey, beautiful day. Hey, 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 beautiful day. Hey, hey, beautiful day. When the night fills my soul, I'll be home. I'll be home. When the night fills my soul, I'll be home. I'll be home. When the night fills my soul, I'll be home. I'll be home.
Phone a Friend was created by our mommy, Jessi Cruikshank. The executive producers are Jessi Cruikshank and Jason Yamba. The technical producer is Rob Parrott. The amazing theme song and sexy interludes are by Jay Malinowski from Bedouin Sound Clash. Phone a Friend is part of the Acast Creator Network. Credits are by us, Ray Gatika and Rio Gatika. We're her kids. That's crazy, right? Wow, you're still listening? Okay, see you next week.